I was running a Chicago Marathon a couple of years ago, and we were probably around the 16-mile mark, and the big packs from the early part of the race had all broken up, and I found myself all by myself. And we're in that section of the race where you're heading out towards the United Center, and it's pretty barren, and you get really exposed to the elements, and it was a windy day. And there was a group of about 3 or 4 people, maybe 20 seconds in front of me, and I just looked up at them very longingly.
So long, partner.
Wanting to close the gap and tuck in behind. But I just didn't feel comfortable breaking out of my marathon pace, even though I probably would have been better off to put in a bit of surge and catch up to them and have someone to run with. I just didn't have the confidence to change pace.
I just can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power.
So one of the things I'm working on is just getting better at putting in some big surges in the middle of a race to try to be able to cover those kinds of gaps.
Steven! Let's go!
So the workout for today is, for me, aimed at trying to get more confident and feeling stronger, deviating from marathon pace, to put in some surges in the middle of the race to close those gaps. It's another workout from the Daniels book. This one is a 16-miler at marathon pace with a couple of 1-mile surges in the middle at lactate threshold pace. So I'm going to stick to what the pace I was running last week. I'm going to keep the marathon pace efforts at 5:49 mile pace and the lactate threshold at 5:32. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be a big mileage day today. Between the warm-up and the cool down, it'll be 20 miles, and that's just doing 2 miles up and 2 miles down. So yeah, one of the things with the Daniels workouts is that you kind of just jump right into the deep end right away. I'm 4 miles in, only 12 to go. Feeling okay. I've been alternating between a 0% and a 2% incline. It's definitely a lot harder on the 2%. I'm 7.5 miles in. This has all been at 5:49 pace. So in a half mile, I'm gonna change to 5:33 pace for 1 mile. It's about to get tougher. I survived the first mile at lactate threshold. I did it at 5:30. It was okay. I ran that one at a 1% incline. I'm gonna do 4 miles at marathon pace, then do another mile at lactate threshold, and then finish up at marathon pace. That's 14 done. 2 to go. I just finished my last mile at 5:33 pace, and I'm finishing up these last 2 miles at 5:49. Today's Sunday, and usually I'd be on the elliptical, but it's pretty nice out, and even though it's cold, I decided to go out for a run just so I didn't feel so cooped up. I hurt my back yesterday moving a piece of plywood.
My back! Oh, my back! Oh.
So I'm just taking it easy today on the elliptical. When I'm on the elliptical, I usually just try to keep my heart rate around the same place it would be on an easy run. So for me, that's around like 125 or so. Hopefully I'm back out in the trail tomorrow. it was about an hour before our home cross country meet when I ran at Michigan. This was in Ann Arbor. And my back had all seized up, and I was pretty certain I wasn't going to be able to run. So Ron, our coach, had me go visit James, one of the women's coaches, to stretch me out. And James worked me really hard and was really prying on my legs to loosen up my quads and my hip flexors. He didn't really work on my back. But when I got off the table about a half hour later, all the back issues had vanished. And I thought it was a miracle that I was able to run, and just seeing then the connection between the quads and the hip flexors impacting my back.
The thigh bone's connected to the hip bone. The hip bone's connected to the backbone.
Pretty sure that was the same issue going on over the weekend. I know it was moving a awkward object to move the piece of plywood that kind of triggered the pain, but almost certain that it was the tightness in my quads and my hip flexors from my workout the day before that was the root of the issue. So same thing, this morning I got up and I wasn't sure if I was going to run or not. So I did my prehab, part of which is to stretch out my quads and my hip flexors. And the difference between the before and after was huge. So decided to go for a run. I'm running at lunch today. I had a early morning meeting this morning, so I didn't get a chance to run. So get another chance to get out in the sunlight, or at least in the daylight. Today's Wednesday, my workout day. I was planning on doing my warm-up and then seeing how my back was feeling, and then making the decision whether to extend the warm-up into a run or do the workout. I'm about 4 miles into the warm-up, and it feels okay. Things are loosening up as I continue to run. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my workout.
You said till the job's done.
Today's a 4x2 miler at Lactate threshold. Gonna try to hit those in 5:33. I won't mind pulling the plug if things start to tighten up. All right, that's the first of the 4 done. It felt okay. I got a 2-minute rest between. So hopefully I can finish this up. All right, I'm in the middle of my third 2-miler. Things are going okay. My heart rate is like 146, and pretty much at the end of the interval. I was probably a little bit low, so I'd consider adjusting my pacing for next week, but for now I'm just going to stick with the plan. All right, I got 1 mile left in the workout. I'm glad I did it. Everything feels okay once I'm moving. I've got 3 good excuses for running on the treadmill today. The first one is that it's 6 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so I'm trying to keep a bit warmer. The second is my back's still bothering me a bit, and I'm worried that the cold would aggravate it. And the third, part of my goal for this block is to get in more hills, and the treadmill allows me to force that issue and get in a lot of climbing. So I'm gonna do about 9 or 10 miles, depending on how much time I have.
We went for a 5.5 mile run in the evening, and there was a really nice sunset.
If you're just joining this series for the first time, welcome. I lay out the backstory a little bit more in the first video that I posted last week. I'll leave a link. Check it out. This week, the BAA put out its list of the elite field. Another awesome field. I felt a little bit of nostalgia seeing that list come out. Just 2 years ago, I got invited to be part of that field, which was just one of the best experiences of my life. Getting a little bit slower as they get older, but it was still great to have a chance to be a part of that at least once. Today's Friday, end of the week. And, well, the week didn't go exactly as planned. But, yeah, I got all my miles in for the most part, maybe a couple short. And I got my 2 key workouts in. So, really can't complain. You know, some of my typical issues weren't flaring up with my hip. I had some new issues with my back. But I guess that's kind of just the nature of running. Especially as, you know, you're putting in high miles and as you're getting older too. Is you just have to be able to solve those issues as they come up. So, you know, as the week went on, things continued to feel better and feeling like I'm in a good position to do my hard workout tomorrow. So, no complaints, not a bad way to end the week.